Welcome to our Devil. Today we are taking a look at r/entitled Parents. Our first story is from Queen of Shipping 99. I don't care if that's your family's most sacred heirloom. Give it to my daughter who doesn't even want it. When I was 17, I worked as an intern at a jewelry store. I would basically just help customers find jewelry, pay for it, and maintain the register. One Friday night, I was anxious to close because I was going to stay after hours to repair a necklace of mine. It wasn't anything too remarkable to a normal person. Just a silver chain with an ebony ring in the center. But the history it had to my family is so important. The story goes that my great-great-great-grandfather, a French woodcarver, created that ebony ring with his own bare hands. Carved both his and my great-great-great-grandmother's initials into it. And used it to propose to her. When he went off to war a few years later, he told her to, if he didn't make it back, tie the ring to her favorite silver chain so he could always be near her heart. He never returned. And my great-grandmother kept her promise, and it had since become a family heirloom. But anyways, I was just closing up when entitled Mom and her actually decent child come in. Me. Good evening. Welcome to Paris Jewelers. How may I help you? Entitled Mom cut the small talk. My daughter needs a perfect necklace for her bat mitzvah. And I want to see them. Now, I'm slightly put off by her rude tone. But I assume she's just stressed out and go to help her. After looking through all of our best necklaces, she's still not satisfied. Entitled Mom, no. Where's your good jewelry? Me. Ma'am, if these selections are not to your liking, I'm sure I can help you find another. Entitled Mom, I want that one. I look to where she's pointing and see that she apparently wants my necklace, which is clearly on my employee desk and not on the display cases. Me. I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's not for sale. It's actually entitled Mom, don't lie. I want that necklace, so you're going to hand it over. Me. Listen, it's an heirloom. My family values it more than anything. Daughter. Leave her alone. Mom, I can get another. The mom just dismisses her with a wave of her hand. I'm about to open my mouth in protest. But then my boss walks in. Boss. Is there a problem, ladies? Entitled Mom, your little bee of an intern won't give me the necklace I want. She threw it behind the desk just so I couldn't get it. Daughter. Mom. You know that's not what happened. Don't lie about. Entitled Mom, shush. You're hysterical because this girl is being so mean. My boss looks at me. Then back at the entitled Mom and her daughter. He eventually turns back to me. Boss. Can you please show me the necklace in question? I go and get my necklace and show it to him. My boss knows that it is important to me, and he turns back to the M. Boss. Is this the necklace you wanted? Entitled Mom, yes. Boss. Then I'm afraid you're mistaken. This necklace is in fact this young lady's property. Now please leave or I will escort you out personally. Entitled Mom glares at me, but eventually grumbles and leaves. Before she takes off, however, the daughter says she needs to use the restroom. The mom tells her to hurry up before going to wait. The young girl then bursts into tears, apologizing for her mom's behavior and sobbing about how embarrassed she is. My boss and I felt so bad for her that we gave her an inexpensive bracelet for free and said a special mazel tov for her. Poor girl. Wherever you are, I hope you're free from your mother and living your best life. Comment by No Guac. I just don't understand how people like that. Entitled Mom exist. I just don't get it. Comment by JoeMama 1999. Imagining the boss wasn't there. Things might get more worse. Why do entitled parents even exist? Comment by Dilpoo. Our next story is from Flying Donkey Dong 69. Entitled Parents try to kick me out of my room. I hate using abbreviations. So figure out who says what on your own. I've done my best to make it as easy to follow as possible. I'm currently taking classes away from home. And since I don't like the idea of living out of my car, I rented a room at a nearby bed and breakfast that houses students. Great owners. Amazing rooms private bathrooms. Fast Wi-Fi. Free use of state-of-the-art kitchen. And above all else, affordable. Of course. Because the place I'm staying at is a B&B first. The owners request that I stay flexible during tourist seasons. Which means I keep things at a ready-to-move status. Tourist patrons pay way more to stay here. So they take priority over room choice. Thankfully. Tourist season only lasts from September 1st to October 22nd. And from February 1st to the 18th. And doesn't come without compensation. The owners have temporary rooms in their private residence, they call it the retreat, set up for students who have to move for tourists. As well as a contract stating that if any items left in our rooms are damaged/stolen by tourists, it will be fixed/replaced. Well, it's tourist season again. Thanks to the nearby town's winter and Valentine's festivals that happen every February. I've been moved once so far. But it wasn't too bad. The owner called all the students into the common room to explain the room situation for the coming days. Alrighty then. Housemate 1 and housemate 2? You're gonna stay the night up at the retreat. You're the lucky one who gets to stay this time. Mind your manners. And just do what you do. Later that day, I'm playing on my Xbox when I'm caught off guard as my door swings open and a family of 3 pour in. The father sets down a couple of luggage bags while the kid starts running around the room. The mother takes one look at me and says, "I was told that you'd be moved out by now. Why are you still here?" I politely tell her that they may have the wrong room. And that mine wasn't selected for patron use. That's ridiculous. I specifically requested this room. You better leave now. Or I'll be having a strongly worded conversation with the owner. I ask her to give me a second as I call up the owner. She gives me a HMPH. Whatever. The owner picks up. And I double check with him about my room. He confirms that they have the wrong room. And that he'll be there shortly to work it out. I relay this information to the mother. Who just doesn't accept this. This is stupid. I asked for this room and I paid the fee. So you got to leave now. The kid finally notices my Xbox. Awesome. We have an Xbox while we stay here. Can I play it, Mom? Please? The mom agrees. Totally ignoring the fact that she has no right to allow her child to use someone else's things. I keep the controller away from the kid and say that if I'm leaving, I'll be taking my Xbox with me. Her brat did not like that answer. And began to wail like a banshee. Now look what you've done. You made my baby cry. He's going to be in a bad mood for the rest of our stay now. You better hope the owner is forgiving. 'Cause he's getting an earful when he shows up. All this is going on. And not a word has been breathed from the dad. He just stands behind his wife. Arms crossed and with a mildly discomforted look on his face. The owner finally shows up. And it goes like this. Hello folks. Sorry for the mix-up. Your room is taken up by this punk. We know. But this is the room I asked for. And it's the room we're getting. Or we'll find somewhere else. Ma'am. Your bill states that you asked for room 4. This is room 5. I've already made the arrangements for room 4 to be used. So if you could please just follow me. We'll get your family set up. No. This room has an Xbox video game entertainer. Yes. She called it that. And my son wants to use it while we stay here. It's this room or nothing. You'll be hard-pressed to find another place with vacancy during the festival. Besides, it's just down the hall and is just as nice as this room. Does it have an Xbox? I don't think. Then it's this room. Or we take the Xbox with us. I interject, saying that no one is taking or using my Xbox without my permission. Why do you even have that thing anyways? You look like an adult. Act like one and quit playing childish video games. Ma'am, it's room 4 or nothing. And I can assure you, it's not gonna be easy to find a new place to stay. Even if you did, it won't be as nice as here. Fine. I'll take it. But don't expect a review over 3 stars. She stomps out of the room. Wailing brat and pack mule husband in tow. The owner gives me a yeesh look before apologizing and closing the door. That was 2 days ago. And they're still down the hall from me for another 2 days. The kid has had at least 4 very audible temper tantrums since then. God have mercy. Comment by Squicklies123. Comment by a deleted user. Comment by JustJGL105. Don't worry. Our next story is from Clarion06. My dad felt my savings should go to my brother. So this happened a couple of years ago, but it still just hurts. My dad and I have never really seen eye to eye. He grew up with no sisters and an awful mother figure, and none of his friends have daughters. Only sons. I don't blame him for struggling to raise a girl when he had absolutely no reference point, but he didn't need to show blatant favoritism towards my brother. I've always been the black sheep a little. My parents and younger brother have always been this nice little trio. My brother is a mummy's boy, but dad dotes on him regardless. He's 4 years younger than me. I'm 18, he's 14. I've struggled to find my place in the family. Even my standing as which sibling I am isn't certain because my dad accidentally impregnated a girl at 19. Had my half-brother. And I was born 14 years later. My older brother was enough in my life that I don't feel like the oldest child, but not enough to feel like the middle. I'm just dad's retrial at parenting, and my brother is the beneficiary of all his practice. Now, aside from that little rant, the actual story. My brother and I are very musical. I play a multitude of instruments. He just plays saxophone. And he's good. Always has been. He suffered classic younger sibling syndrome. We were in a much better financial position when I began playing clarinet that I got a really good beginner intermediate model that I still play today. When he started about 4 years later, things had gotten tight. So he had to rent his from the local concert band. And it wasn't great. Originally it was fine because my parents didn't want to invest in something he might not commit to, but he did and loved it. At this point I was 15. And I'd been working for 2 years at a local sports club. Earning less than minimum wage because I was underage. Working my butt off and saving a pretty hefty percentage of my income. My father, who felt responsible for my job since he knew the owner but I'd actually gotten the job myself, decided he was entitled to my savings. About $500 at the time. His exact words were, "We could use your savings to buy your brother a better saxophone." God, it crushed me. First of all, you cannot get a sax better than the one he has for only $500. Secondly, what kind of father asks one child to give up practically 2 years of work for another? It made me feel like he had more pride or hope for his son that his daughter's savings should contribute towards it. Even though at the time I was saving for a student-level clarinet and he knew that. He never offered to pay the money back or anything, and thankfully. After I asked Mum what she thought of it, and she lost her mind. It was never brought up again. Though he has asked for my savings since then and I've said no. Can't wait to move out next year. Edit. So I should make a couple of things clear. My father didn't actually take the money. Mum shut that situation down real quick. But it didn't stop him from asking and trying to manipulate me into giving them up for a long time. I live in New Zealand. And my accounts have been in my name since I was 13. My parents have just as much right to them as the stranger across the street. Absolute zero. Credit isn't really a thing here, so that's not an issue either. Can't believe all the attention this got, and thanks for all the advice. Edit 2. I have half a year of high school left, and then next year I'm moving 8 hours away to university. So that's where my savings are going. I can't move out now. Also, to explain the minimum wage situation. In New Zealand, minimum wage is $70. And it tends to go up every year. However, you don't have to pay minimum wage to employees under the age of 16. You can pay them whatever you want. I started on $10 an hour at age 13. And nearly a year into the job I went up to $14.25, as that was the current minimum wage. And that's where my wage stayed until I turned 16, even when the minimum wage rose. Edit 3. Don't appreciate the attacks I'm receiving about how much I had in savings after 2 years. That isn't what this post about. Comment by Street Shame. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the father. Comment by Mo Bubbles 1983. Sounds like my father. My brother could do no wrong. He didn't get his first job until he was 18. Banned, it lasted 2 months. Never got his license, and until he joined the military he literally did nothing but work out. I started working at 16. Got my license right away. Managed to graduate with honors and went to college. I was still the duck up in his eyes, and my brother was the golden child. I gave up trying to make him proud and did it all for me. Comment by Thatone Crackboy. Our next story is from Fredzard. My mother threw my sister a party for my 8th birthday. This happened in 1998 when I was 8 years old and my sister was 5. From a very early age I knew that my younger sister was the golden child and could do no wrong in our mother's eyes. Mother Dearest was abusive towards me for most of my childhood. Until I was 14, and her physical and mental abuse turned towards my sister as well. My parents had separated before my sister was born. They didn't mesh well together but tolerated each other for the sake of their kids. Part of the reason that my sister was Mum's favorite child was her love for horse riding, which I was never interested in. The more hostile our mother got towards me, the less interested I got in anything she was interested in. And then came my 8th birthday. I was friends with our next-door neighbor's kids and a few kids from school. Although I didn't have that many, I loved the friends I did have and was excited to share my birthday with them. My birthday was on a Friday, but Mum told me that she'd arrange my birthday party for the Saturday, which was fine by me. The day of my birthday party came and I got excited. At that age I hadn't yet had my heart crushed by my mother and her blatant favoritism and abuse. But that was the year I began to hate my birthday. The party was arranged to start at 12 p.m., so I wore my favorite dress and sat outside to wait for my friends to arrive. This was the point that I realized that something wasn't right. Outside was the mother of one of my sister's friends with a Shetland pony in tow. My mother knew I wasn't interested in horses, and even if I was, this horse was too small for an 8-year-old. As more guests started to arrive, my heart broke more and more. These were my sister's friends, not mine. And for the icing on the cake, out came my 5-year-old sister in a Cinderella costume. None of these people were there for me. This was supposed to be my party, but instead it became a party for my sister. None of my friends were there. All of the birthday presents were addressed to me but were things I didn't want. My Little Pony toys and other horse-related gifts were what I got from my mother and the people at the party. The only present I got that wasn't horse-related was from our dad. He came later in the day to wish me a happy birthday. And by that point the other guests and the pony were gone. I can remember him asking me what was wrong, as I wouldn't come out of my room or talk to anyone. My mother acted dumb and said that she didn't know why I was upset. It wasn't until many years later that my dad found out what had happened. After that day, I didn't want a birthday party again. Even now at 30 I don't make a big deal out of my birthday. I still celebrate it, but I don't do birthday parties. My sister has changed a lot since then and I don't hold any grudges for the things our mother did. We don't speak to our mother anymore, and our father died in 2009 when I was 19. It's tough sometimes, but me and my sister are really close, so we have each other to lean on for support. I'd be lost if it weren't for her. Comment by Heart Pine Floors. That has to be one of the most cruel, petty, stunning acts of favoritism I have heard of. Some women in my support group remember that if they got a present, the Golden did too. But this blows the lid off that whole mindset. I would give anything to hear how your mother would have explained that to another adult if forced to tell the truth. Comment by Mr. Boombastic 29. Bro, that breaks my heart. I can't imagine what I would have done. I didn't like or want parties my whole life, but if I was excited for one and that happened. Comment by Goth Spite. That is horrible. What happened when your dad found out what your mom did? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and subscribe to our Devil. See you in the next one.